To all my wonderful friends, partners, followers. Today I have a special treat for you. It is the legendary Tim Storey. Tim Storey is a life coach to the stars, a preacher, an amazing human being, and a very, very, very loving friend. For the short time that I know Tim personally, I'm so impressed and touched by his character. I've been following you for years, Tim, and many people in Bulgaria know about you because I've talked about you a lot, even before we connected. But it's such an exciting thing for me to be able to chat with you today. And thank you for coming on and taking the time to talk to me.
What a privilege. Number one, I'm proud of you. So I've been following you as well. And to see what you're doing, not just in your country, but literally all over the world. And so obviously it's a time that the world is looking for leadership, people to guide them. And you have a gift to guide both to people who understand Christianity and those who do not. And so I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been so inspired by you and your ministry. And you were supposed to come and speak at a huge event that we were planning. And then the pandemic hit.
Yes.
But anyway, we believe that the time will come for you to be here and speak to the business world, to the secular world, and also, of course, to our community of believers.
Yeah.
How have you been holding up in this crazy season? You're the comeback coach. You have a book about turning your setbacks into comebacks. You were talking about it with Oprah at the Super Soul Sunday. You've been preaching this message for years. And I feel like right now, this is the right message for all of us, because all of us are in a setback.
Yeah, I think that like anyone, I think that COVID-19, when it hit, I didn't know how big it was going to be. I remember a very well-known agent. She's actually Brad Pitt's agent. Wow. She had said to me that, Tim, if you're booking a ticket, make sure you book it where it's refundable because of the COVID-19. But she said it before it became big.
Yeah.
And I says, I think we'll be okay. And when I got off the phone, I thought, bless her heart, she's thinking too much.
Yeah.
So when COVID-19 put us into a quarantine state, literally all over the world, as you know, and you've been talking about, we've never faced anything like this. Usually there's an earthquake, but it's in one region, or a hurricane or a tornado, one region. But this is worldwide. It affected everybody in villages that we never even heard of. So I think like anyone, because I'm human, you're taken back. And I think that there's a bit of shock that happens. And then what I teach about a life interruption, because that's what happened, a life interruption, is that when a life interruption happens, you gotta become awake. And you got to wake up and say, okay, this is real. And then secondly, you got to take inventory.
Wow.
How am I? In your case, how's your wife? How's your new baby? You have to take inventory. So you become awake, then you take inventory of your family, of your job, of your finances.
How are we going to cope with this? How are we going to act in this case?
Yeah, and then the third thing you do is you have to become educated. And I think that that's where you come in. And where I come in is that I'm an educator of helping people to get through the storm.
And you've been doing this for years. So what is the main question that celebrities are asking now, and people that you're coaching hundreds of people all over the world. And the wonderful thing about you is that you're not just ministering to the big shots. You love to serve everyone. And this is so amazing. You know, most people that have the access that you have to celebrities, to people of influence, they would never take the time to make themselves, their product, their wisdom available to the masses. But you have been so faithful in that way to serve people. So what are the questions that people with influence are asking, and what is the main answer that you're coming to again and again when you
Yeah, and thank you for that compliment, because for me, I've always felt that God called me to be a servant to all people, to the up and outers, middle outers, and down and outers. So that's why I serve on many boards. I'm on boards with prison reform. I'm on a board for addiction and mental illness. I'm also on another board for the homeless. So I'm a humanitarian. I love people. But I life coach, as you say, a lot of celebrities, over 300.
Wow.
And the biggest rappers, probably the biggest movie stars in the world. And what's interesting is that their dilemma is the same as ours. And so when COVID hit, they're asking the same questions. How long do you think it will last? Do you think we'll be okay?
Is this the end of the world?
Is this the end of the world? That's the next thing I was going to say. Is this the end of the world? So they're asking the same thing. So for anybody that's questioning celebrity, the word celebrity means to be celebrated.
Ooh.
But the beautiful thing about everyone who's watching right now, you are a celebrity. So you don't have to be a famous movie star or a famous singer. You're a celebrity. So I'm around the greatest models and everybody. No, you watching, you're a celebrity because you are celebrated by God. And when God puts his boom on you, you're a celebrity. So welcome to being a celebrity.
That's some powerful stuff you're sharing.
Yeah.
You know, I was inspired by your teaching probably, let me see, about 17 years ago. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I had a dream where I felt like I was called to do what I'm doing today. And then I was sitting at a house of a friend of mine, and she played the old cassettes, you know, videotape.
Yes.
It was you speaking. And basically, I saw you doing what I saw in my dream. And
wow.
I didn't.
Yeah.
For me, this came like a confirmation. And then I went and studied you so much, your ministry, your gift, and then the way life took you to these places of influence and ministering to all these people. But what I love about you again, and what I learned from you, is how to serve everybody, to be adaptive. And I think this is so important right now in this season for people to be adaptive, to be able to change, and also learn the things that we didn't need and get to the real important stuff and find those things that are not changing. Because in the season where everything is changing, I think that we need to find something that is not shaking all the time.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Coming back to that, you say like, this is one thing that is giving you power, is giving you conviction, it's giving you stability. You have another book about being steady in shaky times.
Yeah.
How? What is the thing that helps you to be steady right now? What will help people to stay steady?
Yeah, but first of all, I want to say that that's one reason why you are coming up so fast, and I'm going to help you in other countries as well, is because your message is a Jesus message of love, compassion. Isaiah 61 is all about taking somebody's ashes. Your ashes are your dead things, and replacing them with beauty. It never says he'll put beauty on your ashes. He said he'll take your ashes and give you beauty. So this is what we do. I exchange people's ashes for beauty through God's presence. And that's why I'll meet coming up with probably one of the 3 top celebrities in the whole world. I'll be with him all week next week. Wow. And, you know, these are not people that are sometimes spiritual or religious. They're looking for Tim Storey's spirit, his presence, etc. So that leads me to the answer to the question you asked. My strength is in God. Is that when I started going to church at 4, and then when I was about 8, there was a man that was similar to a Tim Storey. and he was from Sri Lanka, and he was moving in supernatural power. And my pastor tells a story that I came out of the chairs and I stood and watched the man pray for people. I was just a child. So what happened there is my calling called me. There are three ways that you primarily learn: education, conversation, and observation. So there were two things that happened when I saw this Sri Lankan man moving in the spiritual gifts. I saw an observation that I'd never seen. I'd heard about this miracle God, but now I saw it. So I then wanted to get close. So observation, then education. He started talking about God as a healer and that God can do anything. And so that was educating me at, 7, 8 years of age, watching this man. And then I decided to become a person who knew God. Wow. The Bible says the people who know their God will be strong and do great things. Wow. So my strength is knowing and understanding God. I'm a God-made man. Wow. So people try to give me a lot of credit for the life I get to live, but I am a God-made man. That's how I see it.
That's so powerful. And this is I think that your faith in the supernatural, your faith in God is what also makes you stable. It's
no doubt.
It's what makes you grounded and helps you to have the long-term perspective. Because people of faith, we are looking for eternity. So we are not freaking out about things that are taking place in time, because we are looking for eternity.
Like you see how down to earth I am, is that I was shaving earlier today and I cut myself because I was in a good mood. I was moving. So now I just put something on it. This is how down to earth I am. But I have a fancy shirt on. And Grant Cardone got me this watch.
Oh, really? What kind of watch?
It's a good one. But the funny thing about life is that this is me. Like, I would show up at a celebrity's house if I had just cut myself and just smile and not say anything. But my strength is in the fact that God is, and that he called me. Mm-hmm. And then you have to cooperate with the calling. Everybody who's watching, you're called in some way. Number one, you're called, then you have to cooperate, and then he builds the character. And then number 4, you have to have the courage. And so I was called.
Courage. I love how you put the words, every word with the C.
Yeah, that's my style. So I'm called, and then I had to cooperate. Cooperating is big because, I get pulled a lot of ways. And, people have always tried to get me to be an actor. Probably one of the biggest managers in the world. I was almost going to say his name, but I won't. He had.
You did act.
Yes, I did act.
I told you the story about the tape. What I didn't tell you is a few weeks after that, I'm watching a Bulgarian television.
Yeah.
And there is this movie about, I don't even remember the celebrity's name.
Yeah, his name is Michael Landon, who is very famous in America and all over the world.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I saw you like a few weeks ago on this tape, and I had this experience, and then I'm looking at this, I'm watching a movie, and you show up. So for me, it's like, man, this is Bulgaria, it's like, then your face shows up on TV, Bulgaria, on this movie. So you did act, but that's the funny thing about you, how you got, how I saw you first, you were preaching, boom, then I'm watching a movie, you're there. So I felt like God was giving me a sign. This is a man that you have so much to learn from. And I did, so I do, and I still do learn from you. And
we can do it all. The calling is not usually one thing. It usually unfolds into many things. And so my strength, number one, is I'm a humanitarian. I'm a server of people. Jesus is a humanitarian. He serves people. So number one, I'm a humanitarian. Number 2, I'm an artist. So I create jewelry, I create clothes, I can create music. I'm producing 4 TV shows right now, a Broadway play, and I'm working on a movie with Will Smith. So I am a creator, I'm an artist. So some of you, you're limiting yourself by just boxing yourself into this box. So that's why I'm glad that me and you are collaborating, because we're going to stir this up in people. They
Yes,
need to let the artists come out of them and who they really are.
that's so powerful, because one of the reasons I did not want to be in a Christian kind of ministry when I was a teenager, when I was growing up, is because I thought, if I become a preacher, then I must have this ugly kind of old school clothing.
Clothes, yeah.
Yeah, I must speak in a certain way, and then I need to have a wife that is a certain way, and I need to be fat, because all the preachers in my country, you know.
Yeah, they like food.
Yeah, I wanted to be in shape. And really, for me, it came with Joseph, where he had the coat of many colors. That
Yes.
signifies that you're not just one thing. You're a friend, you're a preacher, you're a pastor, you're a motivational speaker, you're a businessman. Who said that you should just be one thing? But, you know, people are being always kind of trying to put themselves in categories where they feel comfortable, whether it be race, whether it be religion, whether it be a certain style of music, or even a soccer team. And look what's happening now in the world. It's all over the news with the tragedy of racism, and the whole world is shaken. We had people on the streets, even in Bulgaria, if you could believe that. So,
It's an amazing thing. And let's talk about that for just a minute.
yeah.
So first of all, as Maxim and I were talking about, that don't forget, you're called. You have to cooperate with your calling. God will build the character in you. So what's happening to all of us is we're constantly having character built.
That's
but don't quit on yourself while you're still unfolding. Some of you are giving up on yourself because you're trying to break addiction or something. Please stop it. You're still unfolding. God's building you, okay? And then you have to have the courage to stand up and step out. So this is what's happening in our country, is that all forms of prejudice have been going since the beginning of time. So just because I am a black man, I don't see it as, okay, look what you've done to us. I say, look what so many people are doing to each other. Because there's prejudice against people that are big. There's prejudice against women, against gays, against nerdy people that are just using their brains, against black people, against Native American Indians, people from India, people from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And so the reality is that we are prejudging people. We are restricting them according to our small mindset in that case.
That's so powerful.
So we are limiting them. So when you are prejudiced, you are placing a limitation. So when this white police officer put his knee on George Floyd's neck, he was saying, I limit you. You can scream for your mother. I've already handcuffed you, but I am limiting you. That is demonic.
It is.
So that man moved into a demonic space. He was not himself at that point, that white guy. He went into a demonic state of, I limit you. I've already handcuffed you. You could scream for your dead mother all day, but I limit you. And I'm telling you that are watching right now, nothing is going to limit you when you have God's presence inside you.
Oh, that's
even though we face affliction and we face pain and we see these terrible things happen, it's time for you to rise up in your spirit and say to the dark forces of this world, you will not limit me.
Man, you're preaching now, and it's powerful. I'm holding my tears, you know, I'm trying to stay strong, but this is so powerful.
Oh yeah, we are unlimited. When when people come to me and they say, I heard you're the best comeback coach in the world, I say, you're right. Because I am. But I'm not the best cook. And don't let me work on your car. But at this, I'm the best. And so you have to own what God said about you. Own it.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about this moment where Paul spoke to Timothy as a mentor, and he said, don't let anyone despise your youth. His youth was the thing that people were prejudging. They had prejudice because they were prejudging. They were thinking he's too young, so he can't be a leader or he can't take these decisions. And he told them, don't allow anyone to prejudge you. Know who you are. And
that's
I think
beautiful.
all of us have a weakness. All of us have something that we're not good at, but we shouldn't allow whatever we are not good at to limit us or tell us that we are not the best at something else. So it's about finding your gift. It's finding who you are. It's finding, thank God that you're not working in a car dealership. What would we do if you were fixing cars?
Yeah. I hear you.
You found what you're strong in, and you stayed strong, and now it's good for humanity.
Yeah, and I want to say this, like, again, about you, because in this case, I'm a Paul and you're a Timothy, is that then what Paul says to him, don't forget your grandmother was powerful, your mother was powerful, and now I believe that power is in you.
Wow.
And so you learned from a Tim Storey, and so the rubbing off of the anointing takes place from Moses to Joshua, from Paul to Timothy, Elijah to Elisha. So that's why you see yourself with a lot of similarities of mine, but Elisha asked for double. So that's why I'm excited to continue to be around you, but I expect you to go higher. And I had and have influence, but I expect you to go higher because that's the style of God. He takes you from glory to glory, which means dimension to dimension. So I've taken the world to a certain dimension where a lot of people have given me a lot of credit for the style of all the young American speakers. The way they speak is what they call story style. There actually is a term that, and I won't name the guys, but they all say, he speaks like they learn it from Tim Storey, with the humor, with the hands, with the talking, communicating, not preaching like preachers, not talking like that, but using that sometimes. But I created a whole style before it ever came out.
Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. And what's the most amazing thing about it is that it's so natural and it's so authentic that secular people are drawn to it.
Yes.
They don't even understand why they're attracted. And I'm getting the same thing on this side of the world.
Yes.
Exactly because of what you mentioned. Man, this is a powerful conversation. And
can I just say this to you? The reason they're attracted to the light in all of you that have light in you, is it because it reminds them of the person they're supposed to be? Is that everyone's made in the image of God, even if you're a Muslim. You're made in the image of God, your creation. So if you're Muslim, Hindu, a Sikh, a Jewish, Kabbalah, Scientologist, you're made in his image. And so when you see the Jesus light come through somebody, it reminds you of the person that you're supposed to be. That's the draw. They're saying, take me home. They don't even know why they're feeling it, but they're saying, take me home.
This is so beautiful. This is so powerful. You know, I feel like clapping and shouting. And I am sure that people are already so encouraged and they have learned so much. And I'm very excited about doing also this program with you, where we'll be working to help people get to their dreams.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it together, because we're going to build them up and take them to places that they never expected. And let me just say this. There's a lot of coaches, but very few people are making sense. So a lot of people say, I'm already in a program. No, you're not in our program. That's like saying I play basketball, but you're not Michael Jordan.
Oh,
So the reality is, at this time, get around two coaches, both of us, that have a gifting and experience to take your life to the next level.
yeah.
So that's why I'm excited about this project, is that let's take them to the level they were created to walk in.
Yeah. I can sense that the young generation, the generation that I'm a part of, and the up and coming ones, they are so used to everything being fake in a way, being online, being virtual, that whenever something real shows up, they connect. So I'm convinced that people will be connecting to yourself. They'll be connecting to what we're going to do, because really we were talking about creating this program where we can give people what you are giving to the top celebrities of the world. So people are going to get information, and they're going to hear you speak. The same person who spoke to Charlie Sheen, who spoke to Brad Pitt, who spoke to all of these people. And they're going to get this amazing access. And one thing that I learned in life is that the biggest gift that anyone can give you is access. There is nothing greater than being able to talk to somebody who has experience, who has knowledge, who has power, who has wisdom. And
that's a great way of saying it. And you are one conversation away from a life change, all of you. Like, if you look at this, I always have these manuals. I have over 1,500 pages now of work that I've done with psychologists, psychiatrists, spiritual leaders, but I'm talking about some of the best thought leaders in the world. So these manuals altogether, I was figuring it out with my accountant one day, it's about $75,000 worth of work. And so the fact is, can you imagine that all my years of working with, as he's saying, the top celebrities in the world, is that we're giving it to you for such a low price when you think of where it could take you. Of the work, Maksim, that you've done and worked so hard since you were a teenager to get to where you are at this phase of your life, and to connect with Tim Storey, and you allowing me to connect, because in this case, I'm in your world. And so I humbly come into his world to help build you up so you do what you're supposed to do. That's exciting to me.
That's so powerful. You know, I don't want to take too much from your time, because I really respect your time. I just want to ask you one last question that is different. So my question is, what does Tim Storey do when you find yourself in a difficult moment, when you are down, when you're going through a hard time? Because I think for many of the people that see you at a level that you are right now, or that they see anybody who is successful in what they do, they immediately forget the story. So they just go to the finished product. So they think, this guy has no problems. This guy, he just has a wonderful life. He's living in Beverly Hills. He's working with Will Smith. He's working with all these top people. But all of us have the bad days, the difficult moments. And actually, I think that the higher you go, the harder choices you make sometimes in life.
100%.
What do you tell Tim Storey? What do you do for yourself when you want to recharge, get up, and come back?
So I like what you're saying. Number one is that when people see you doing well, there's an expectation. Like, I was in a board meeting yesterday, and the lady that I had met at this board meeting, I'd never met her before, and she says, just as advertised. And I said, what do you mean? It was during the board meeting, and she says, well, one of my friends, and she named the lady that I know from Beverly Hills, and she said, she told me that I would experience this with you. Whoa, your energy, your way, just as advertised. So there's an expectation that comes when you start to do well. So when you're challenged, there's many times a feeling of where you want to isolate yourself. Because you're saying, you know, I'm going through a difficult time, and I don't want the people who follow me or even people who respect me to see me in this challenging time. Now, there's nothing wrong with isolation for a small period of time, because sometimes you just need to go into a quiet place. But in that quiet place, it's very important that you shift your satellite dish. And you've heard me talk about this. You shift your satellite dish towards him. So whenever I'm in a big, big crisis, and sometimes I am, I will go to a quiet place, but I will shift my satellite dish to the All Things Are Possible network. So I go to a solitary place, as Jesus did on earth, and I tap into the Creator. And it's there that I start getting this divine strength. I mean, for real. So that's what I do. And then I start looking for guys like you who walk in divine strength. So when I'm feeling weak, I'm looking for people that are strong. I'm not looking for weak people. So number one, it's okay to isolate for a minute, but while you're in isolation, shift your satellite dish here. I do that through prayer, through the word, through praising him. And this is part of my everyday life. That's why you feel this energy from me, because I've already done it this morning. I do it every day of my life. So you shift your satellite dish, but then you reach for people that are strong or even stronger than you, at least at that moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think this is very hard sometimes for people to do, because your ego and you're trying to keep this
image.
Yeah, thank you for helping me. This image, and you're not looking for stronger people. But if you surround yourself with powerful people, you end up being recharged. So isolate for a minute, tune in towards the source, but then find some people that are strong in this season that can be with you and support you.
And that's what we're going to do together with this course.
Yeah.
And if enough of you really get behind it like you should, and everyone that's watching us right now, tell 3 friends. Let's create a movement. Let's create a movement. So the Tim Storey Hollywood Bible study became a movement. I now have 7,000 people on my list for my Hollywood Bible study, and it went into probably 7 different countries.
Wow.
And so we can create a movement of us who think big, dream big, and do big.
Think big, dream big, and do big.
Well, we're recording that. Let's use that. I like that.
This is the best way to conclude our amazing talk with the legendary Tim Storey. Can you repeat it? Think big, dream big, do big.
Do big.
So powerful. So thank you, Tim, for doing this. Thank you.
What a privilege. I'm proud of you.
We love you, and you're an inspiration for us all over the world. And we can't wait for the program that we're going to do together, where we'll help people get to their dreams. And we can't wait for this season of crazy times to settle down and have you in Bulgaria, where people can experience you live.
I cannot wait. All right. See you soon.
Thank you.